song again like we did at the beginning of the show. This is Kevin Barrett, and you're listening to We the People Radio Network. The show is called 9/11 and Empire. And, of course, John Lennon's great Give Me Some Truth, as reimagined by punk bands, is, of course, the theme music. But we're going to be talking about a rather unusual topic for the rest of the show, one that does go a little bit beyond the usual purview of what we do here. We're going to be talking about extraterrestrials in Islam. Now, wait a minute. Are you talking about, like, Muslims are actually from another planet? No. Muslims are just people like everybody else. I keep having to remind folks of this. You think it would be obvious that, you know, a lot of people in the USA these days seem to be looking at Muslims as though they were creatures from another planet. But our topic tonight, of course, is that Islam, which is a very complex, rich and nuanced, discursive tradition dating back nearly a millennium and a half, does have a worldview which has something to say about the possibility of extraterrestrial life. And to talk about that, let's welcome Zishan Shabazz and Nadeem Haq. How are you doing, guys?
Fine. Pretty good. Thanks for having us on the show, Kevin.
Well, it's great to have you. This is probably the most kind of unusual topic, if you don't consider 9/11 truth unusual. This is probably about as far as we've gone, off into the realm of topics that some folks would kind of scratch their heads at. But, you know, I think it's important. I've looked into various ideas about the possibility of intelligent extraterrestrial life and the possibility that perhaps it even visits Earth occasionally. And it does seem that there's an argument from science that would say that since human beings on Earth are clearly capable of getting off-planet and into the universe, then, you know, assuming that we're not that radically unusual here, presumably there must be lots and lots and lots of other creatures who are further ahead than we are, who have indeed been able to fly the universe. So it's not a silly thought to believe that the chances are very strong that the universe is very well populated with advanced intelligent beings. So what does Islam have to say about this possibility?
Well, Kevin, before we present Islam's view on extraterrestrials, I just want to qualify the point you were just making, that why the odds are with the prospect of there being extraterrestrials. Like, for example, we live on a planet in a galaxy that is made up of over 100 billion, hundreds of billions of stars. And if you just look at our galaxy alone, it'd be kind of very foolish to think that we're the only ones in our galaxy. And astronomers estimate that the universe is made up of over roughly 100 billion galaxies. So think about it. There are 100 billion other galaxies like ours, that contain hundreds of millions and billions of stars. And you probably heard of Frank Drake. The astrophysicist came up with an equation which measures the amount of extraterrestrial civilization there are in our galaxy alone. And according to his equation, there are 10,000 communicative civilizations in our galaxy alone.
Concentrate on here is the Quran, from which we can gather that indeed there are lots of planets with life on them, and this is there's some verses in the Quran, if I may read those verses.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So one of the verses is, main verse is, and among his signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth, and whatever corporeal creatures that he has dispersed throughout them. He is able to gather them together when he wills. Now, there are 3 points about this verse that I'd like to just elaborate upon. The first point is corporeal creatures, dabatin. The Arabic word is dabatin. Dabatin, it means a creature which is carbon-based. And the reason for that is because if we look at another verse, which is verse 24:45 in the Quran, it says that God has created every daba, or it's usually translated as animal, of water. And then it describes which animal. Of them is the kind that goes up on its belly and goes on its 2 legs and so on and so forth. So The word Daba, it actually means, a creature which is comprised of water, and of course, if you have water, you have carbon. What is being said in the Quran is that this universe is teeming with Daba, but the other point to make here is that it says here that he can gather them when he will. The word in Arabic is Ida Yashau. It means that he can make all those creatures come together, in some fashion, in terms of us visiting them, or maybe them coming here, or communication of some other kind. So this is when he will. It's not talking about meeting on the day of judgment, because then it would be, and God gathers them to him. So this is something quite different.
Right. That actually does make it sound like not only are there carbon-based intelligent life forms all over the place, but that God can cause them to come together and meet. And I suppose that might even lend support to the people who argue that there's a lot of evidence that ETs have been visiting Earth. I used to think that was completely wild speculation. But there's a DVD out there called Disclosure Project. I don't know if you've seen that. Have you seen the Disclosure Project videos?
Well, we haven't seen that, but we recently watched Out of the Blue, which we found quite interesting. You've probably heard of that documentary.
No, actually I haven't. This isn't really my field of research. Tell me about Out of the Blue.
But in regards to UFOs, we don't really we can't really say if this is really happening or not. I guess we're not online to talk about that specifically. But yeah, the possibility it's there. Perhaps they're already visiting.
Right. Let me just briefly describe Disclosure Project, because I was really stunned by it. What it is videotaped testimony at the National Press Club by a parade of former high-level military officers who are all talking about what they witnessed during the course of their duties and begging to be brought before Congress to testify under oath. And with these dozens and dozens and dozens of witnesses or purported witnesses to everything from the regularity of ET vehicles buzzing in Air Force bases, shutting down nuclear delivery systems, and crashing and being reverse engineered in secret military bases, with dozens and dozens and dozens of retired high-level military people testifying to this and begging to testify under oath about it before Congress, it really made me think that, well, either this is a very, very carefully orchestrated disinformation project, or there's something very interesting going on here. Either way, it is absolutely imperative that those people should be brought before Congress to testify, so we can figure out whether it's true or whether it's an incredibly elaborate disinformation project.
Yes, the fact is that there are some sightings which are unexplained. And you know that Britain is, the Ministry of Defense is releasing some of their X-Files in spring 2008. The sightings go back to 1950. So there were 10,000 sightings, but 5% of them remain unexplained. And then you have the French report, the Cometa report, which was written by ex-defense people in France, in which what they're saying is that the American government didn't want to disclose a lot of information because they got a lot of information from Roswell, when these spacecraft may have crashed. So they really suspect the American government. If you read the Cometa report, now, and then there's that Philip Corso, who wrote Day After Roswell. So if the government acts that